Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. My friends, come join me for just a minute and imagine how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. Well, that's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you, it makes a very, very happy life. And so can my friend Terry Healey, and he's here to share his unique and distinct journey to his life of significance. But before we bring him on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank him for being our guest star today. We're calling it Rising Strong, and it goes like this. In the quiet crossroads where hardship meets heart, we learn that breaking can become a beautiful start. Through scars and struggle, we reclaim what's been ours all along, where adversity awakens our power on the path of rising strong. Terry walks the road where identity bends, where courage is forged and the spirit transcends. With honesty and hope, he shows we all belong and guides weary souls on the journey of rising strong. His story reminds us every setback hides a key, unlocking confidence, purpose, and possibility. Though healing is slow, resilient faith is never wrong. Terry's life and works stands as living proof of rising strong. Hey, Terry, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Matt. I'm humbled by that intro. Wow.
Very good. Why don't you just get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world?
I'm living my purpose right now, which is really about sharing my resilience framework to help others deal with adversity in their own lives and embrace change. So that's what I'm about right now.
So tell the audience about your rebar framework.
I put together a framework based on my own experience dealing with a life-threatening cancer that left me with a permanent facial difference. And it's really about leveraging that experience and something that worked for me to help others deal. And it goes through four phases. I came up with this framework. It's called rebar, and as we know, Matt, as you say, it's really short for reinforcing bar. So that's really
Okay.
used to strengthen concrete together in tension. When I put together this framework and looked at it, I had this aha moment because I said, I'm kind of a marketing guy, and I said, wow, these four words represent, it's an acronym called rebar. How better could I put together something that represents strength, right? And that's really what rebar is designed to be for others.
Yeah. And the four words are
Reflect, build, act, and renew. So those are
very good.
four phases. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. And then also just tell us a little bit about your books, because I think, as my research said, you wrote a book about 20 years ago, and then you took
Yes.
like a 20-year pause, and then you wrote another book. So how did that come to be that you had two books 20 years apart?
Yeah. So the first book I wrote was really a therapeutic process, Matt. So it was really about sharing my story. It ultimately became a book that a publisher picked up. I was grateful for that. It's a memoir about my story overcoming a life-threatening cancer with a facial difference. What happened, Matt, was after I wrote that book, as you know, when you write a book, suddenly audiences come to you and say, hey, we'd love to have you speak to our association, our corporation, our school. So as I started to do that, what I started to get feedback on, Matt, was this consistent thought from people that would come up to me and say, hey, I heard you speak. I've already read your book, but what you speak
Hmm.
about is really about helping others deal with adversity in their lives, how you can help other people deal with it based on your methods. You need to write another book, right? So
Hmm.
I was a professional in high tech for my whole career. I was working 60-hour weeks. I loved what I was doing, but I always had this desire to write another book. It just
Hmm.
took me some time. It's kind of this timeless thing. And I finally listened to my audiences and said, you know what? I'm going to put that together because that's really ultimately what my purpose is, right? It's to help others deal with life's
Hmm.
challenges. And if there's any way I can help one person in every audience, then that's golden.
Is it fair to say then that the first book was kind of like a reflection on you and your life, and then the second book is applying what you've learned outward to help others, but
Exactly.
maybe covering a lot of the same ground, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah, I share it's an abbreviated version of my story to give context, but it's really
Yeah,
more of an self-improvement book to help others.
yeah,
Uh, and then that's sort of validated as well within the book about other stories I share, Matt, about other people who overcame seemingly insurmountable obstacles, came out the other side
yeah,
transformed and with
yeah.
greater purpose. So it's all together.
Great stuff. And then you do a lot of speaking. So, what does sharing your personal story do for you? And then, what is it doing for your audiences?
Yeah, so obviously it's always been therapeutic for me to get up and share my story. I think it always reminds me and reinforces um, why I do what I do. It
Mm,
reinforces why my scars represent healing as opposed to pain.
mm,
So yeah, I mean that's why I get up every day. I think for me, it's really about practicing what the gifts were that came out of my adversity, which are really, empathy,
mm.
gratitude, and finding greater life perspective.
Yeah, that's very good. All right, thank you for that, Terry. Now let's do a little mathematics so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula. It's super simple, but it's very powerful, and it goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's start with power. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically or mentally or financially, spiritually, emotionally? In other words, Terry, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power you need to take excellent care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty of juice left over to be a giver to others?
Yeah, so I practice what I call my survival kit, Matt, which consists of a number of things. I'll try to touch on each one briefly. It starts with my religious faith that gave me incredible courage, strength, and,
Mm,
and, and importantly, hope, right? Hope is key to
mm,
resilience. It's about surrounding myself with positive people that I trust. Instrumental for me, and I know you relate to this as well, it's about focus. It's about setting goals, but doing those in ways that I believe are achievable. That helps when you achieve a goal, that helps you believe in yourself, that helps build
mhm.
confidence. My superpower, I would really say, behind all of this is gratitude, because when you start your day and end your day with gratitude, you find that you're in a positive mindset. And that is
Right
so
on.
key to deal with life. Life balance and practicing that. Group therapy was instrumental. And then this
Mm,
concept of positive imaging, visualization is something else that gives me tremendous confidence in the future and belief that things will always improve. And and what I love about capacity plus purpose equals happy is that I think that's really important to talk about capacity, right? Because there are people that sometimes lose sight of capacity and they get
mhm.
overwhelmed. So capacity is a key word in that equation, but um, but agree with it 100%.
Yeah, very good. All right. Well, speaking of capacity or power, um, let's discuss my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's this beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big results. And it's so powerful, Terry, because it's all about mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening life is knowing I can always do something better tomorrow than today. And it creates a gentle, relentless, never ending power that keeps lifting me higher and higher day after day after day. So, Terry, how does Kaizening your life help you increase your power to continuously become more so you can keep on giving more and impacting even more lives?
Yeah, I think when we practice those small things, they add up to big things, which is kind of what you're saying, right? And
Mm-hmm.
practicing simple acts of kindness when we're given the opportunity. Can I tell a quick story about one?
Yes, sir.
So Here's just something that people can think about as a simple act of kindness. There's uh, in Santa Cruz, California, where I live, there is this place. Everybody buys water because the tap water is not so good to drink. So they come with these 3 liter or 3 gallon bottles of water. And here's this woman next to me that pulls up as I'm putting my 3 gallon bottle back in my car. They're pretty heavy, 3 gallons.
Hmm.
Here's
Hmm.
this woman next to me with her teenage daughter who's probably 12 or 13. And they are struggling to get all of these things out of their car. They've got like 8 or 9 of them. So I sit in my car and I wait. And I think to myself, you know what? I don't know how they're going to get those back in their car. So I'm going to wait here. I'm not going to be obnoxious, but I'm going to wait and see how I can help. So they come back to the car. And sure enough, like the daughter's trying to put it in the back seat, she can't lift it. So I jumped out of the car and I said, "Hey, I don't mean to interfere with you guys, but if you'd like my help, I'm happy to help." Took me 2 minutes, right, Matt? But I helped them put the bottles in their car. It was no big deal. And as I'm backing up, the daughter and the wife and the mother are like, wait, thank you so much. Like
Yeah.
that simple thing sort of made their day that somebody jumped out to help them. No skin
Yeah.
off my back, a simple thing to do. We all need to open ourselves up to those types of opportunities.
Yeah. And they felt uplifted because of the unexpected kindness that you showed them,
Yeah,
and you felt good, right? It
exactly.
works
Works both
against
ways.
circles. Yeah. All right. Well, let's explore purpose. That's the second part of our happy formula. And I've observed that major life transformations, that great big discovery of purpose often comes from devastation, addiction, abuse, disease, death, disaster, something awful strips a life right to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process that I've used to discover purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how about you, Terry? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the unique and distinct purpose you were meant to live?
Yeah, so when I was 21, I was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Long story short is that it resulted in the removal of half my nose, the shelf of my right eye, the muscle and the bone from my right cheek, part of my upper lip, part of my hard palate, 6 of my
Mm,
teeth. Woke up attached to my
mm,
chest. I was the elephant man, right? Well, I eventually, Matt, came to terms with that. It took years of work, but when I came to terms with that, I realized that I could help inspire other people. And as I as I focused on uh, my next challenge, which was really believing enough in myself to get in front of an audience and say, "Let me share my story with you." That really became something that fed into how I started to believe more in myself and became grateful actually for the
mm.
experience as opposed to ungrateful for the experience and blessed to have had it.
So, before cancer, tell us what was your life like before cancer and then after this? How would and that's one question because I didn't see much in my research of your before cancer life. So I imagine you're just a regular old guy, ready to take on the world. But tell us about your life before cancer, then when it happened, and 30 surgeries or something. So
Yeah.
give us a little bit of what it was like going through it and the overwhelming circumstances that you must have felt, and then what was the thing that started to lift you out of it. So can you just kind of walk us through that a little bit in more depth?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm probably like you, Matt. I was living life on Easy Street in high school. I was an athlete. I was a homecoming prince, all that stuff. Went to college at UC Berkeley, was the president of my fraternity. All's going well. I'm hitting all my milestones. I'm getting good grades. And then, boom, out of nowhere, I get this bump behind my right nostril. Long story short is I get diagnosed with this rare form of cancer. It results in facial disfigurement, permanent facial difference. Changed my life forever. I'm 21 years old. Appearances matter a lot at that stage of life,
Hmm.
right? You're no longer this invincible guy that I thought I was. So, yeah, I ended up having 30 procedures over the course of 5 or 6 years.
Hmm.
between cancer surgeries and reconstructive surgeries. But you know what, Matt? I realized after about 30 surgeries that reconstruction was never going to solve whatever my insecurities were. We're always our own worst critics.
Hmm.
What I had to learn to do is to rebuild myself from the inside out. And that's when I started to take life on a different journey. And
Well,
that's when my,
what caused that? What was the change? Can you think back? Was there a catalyst or something that says, no, no, no,
yeah.
I have to deal with this a different way?
100%. I met a woman named Dina, and this was at a point, literally on my last procedure, where they were trying to get my nose symmetrical again. 6 procedures just to make it symmetrical. Well, guess what? It didn't work so well. So I meet this girl. I'll make the story short, but we get together and we spent some time in a relationship, and at the end of that, at the end of a long weekend, she looked at me and she just said, "Terry, you have a lot of issues that I can't help you with. You need constant reassurance. I can't give you that." So
Hmm.
what she taught me, Matt, was that the scars on the inside had become far more disfiguring than the outside. She wasn't
Wow.
concerned about my physical appearance. What she was telling me was my weakness was what was inside. So fast forward, I reflected on it. I thought about what she said. Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, it was painful. Yeah, it was difficult. But as I reflected over time, I became grateful for what she said because what it did is it opened me up to say, I don't need to search for a surgeon anymore. I need to search for support group to help me to find the courage to start to share my vulnerabilities and learn about who I am and start to
Wow.
believe in who I am as a person again in a new way.
Now, does Dina know that she did this change for
Oh
you?
yeah. We're
Okay.
still friends to this day,
Okay.
30 years later. Yeah.
Not only did you end up with your facial difference, but you started off as a handsome homecoming prince.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
Well, I think I learned that it was, living the good life was fun and but it didn't have as much meaning as the
Yeah.
new life that I have right, man. I mean, now as I say, I'm grateful for the experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't wish it on anyone either, but grateful for the experience. My life is much more valuable, much more rich. The relationships I have are better, right? And I can give back in so many ways. And, the concept of having a giving mindset is so important to me. And I know you relate to that too.
Very good, Terry. Thank you for all that. Now let's take a quick commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
We are a community broadcasting network based in North Carolina, dedicated to providing accessible educational content to benefit everyone. Here at WYTV7, our mission is to provide transparency and integrity, sharing real-life touching stories that matter. We are an all-exclusive and diverse network, assisting others in youth empowerment training, helping the underprivileged, supporting and strengthening families and individuals, self-help awareness, giving scholarships, and helping essential community workers. Our mission is made possible by our wonderful volunteers, as well as supporters like you. consider donating or volunteering with us to help us keep our mission going.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is Terry Healey. He's a speaker, an author, and a resilience mentor whose life was transformed at age 21 by a rare and disfiguring cancer. Through his writing, teaching, and deeply honest storytelling, Terry helps others face adversity with courage, clarity, and purpose. His hard-won wisdom, his profound empathy, and his unwavering belief that every setback can reveal strength make him a shining force of hope in our world. Terry, I just love that. And I think you're going to love this article that I found. It's called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says that the simple act of giving can become a gateway to discover your reason for being on the planet. Science confirms that when we give our time, our talents, and our treasure, it doesn't just help others, it transforms us too. It helps us overcome obstacles, it helps us find meaning, and it helps us discover our purpose. So I updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy.
Yeah.
So how about you, Terry? Has giving your time, talents, and treasures been a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose, for getting through hardships, and bringing real meaning into your life?
100%, Matt. And it goes back to what I said earlier about, capacity plus purpose equals happy. I think capacity is so critical. How much time are we going to give to what activities in our life? And so giving is a really important activity for me. So I've just signed on to become a board member of the Sarcoma Alliance, right? I do a lot of mentoring for other nonprofit organizations and help those going through their challenges one-on-one. I get tremendous benefit from it. I'm helping other people feel better. A lot of it's just listening though, Matt, and it's taking the time to listen to others and make them feel heard when sometimes they don't feel heard. But that is the true gift. And sometimes people say they don't have the time, right? It's capacity. You decide where you're going to put your time. And that is the gift in giving.
Yeah, I've heard it said that if you want to know what somebody cares about, look at their calendar.
Yep.
And you can say all you want. Oh, my wife is that's my most important thing. If you're not spending time with her, that's not your most important thing.
No.
Yeah. All right. So, the science tells us that giving to others helps bring real meaning to our lives. And the joy that we feel, I just saw it in your face, the joy we feel when we're doing work that creates value for others confirms it. But there's something more to it than just the giving, Terry. You see, I believe that the magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose, because that's where the joy flows, and not just to the receiver, but to the giver too. And amazingly, even to people witnessing the giving. So if somebody saw you helping that lady and her daughter, they would feel uplifted on that day too, from that act of giving. So Terry, the audience and I would like to witness what that magic looks like in your life. So sit back, my friend, open your heart, and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making in their lives because you're giving from living in your purpose. So this is what people are saying about your giving. One person told me it takes a special man to realize that from devastation, he can rebuild a life of service, motivating others to more than just move past their hardships, but to grow and strengthen through them. Another said, Terry transformed his journey into a source of power, not just for himself, but for others, recycling his hard-earned insights to uplift, empower, and inspire. And another said, Terry makes you realize anything is achievable no matter what the adverse conditions are. Others said, a rare glimpse into true, unwavering strength. He's personable, entertaining, informative, courageous, strong, resilient, compassionate, hopeful, encouraging, authentic, honest, and vulnerable, empathetic, powerful, and empowering too, motivational, transformational, life-changing, endearing, humble, touching, insightful, memorable, uplifting. He's a beacon of hope. Terry is to be commended for his courage and his willingness to serve. And finally, this person said that you made everyone in the room that you were talking to believe that with faith and persistence, everything is possible. So, Terry, how does all that incredible love make you feel?
I'm humbled. I don't know where all that came from, but sounds like I might have paid him to say it, but I didn't. But no, I'm humbled. I'm so grateful that I can make an impact on, like I said before, on one person in a room. It makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have minor adversities, sometimes they have major, but a minor adversity for some people is incredibly difficult. So, any words of wisdom, I'm grateful that I can share.
Yeah. Sometimes you can see uh, the affirmity, and sometimes you can't see it, right? But doesn't make
Yep.
it any. It's still a struggle. So many
Yeah.
people are involved in this struggle,
Yep.
and folks, it's this the feeling you see on Terry's face, that humility from him listening to what people are saying about the impact he's making. That's what this show is all about. We're here, Terry and me and all our guest stars, to encourage you, our listeners, to find that same magic in your life. It's available for you. It's available for everyone. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great, big, happy circle. Giving your time, talents, and treasures is a powerful pathway to discovering your purpose. And then giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life, but also to the lives of those around you. So it seems that giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So, Terry, if I'm going to capture the entire exponential power of the happy formula, I've got to tweak it just a little bit more to power or capacity, you've been saying, but power or capacity times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
Sounds exactly right. Couldn't say it any better.
Very good.
100%.
Well, let's go from math to English. I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives. So I'm going to read a few that reminded me of your conviction and your courage and your resilient spirit. And Terry, I loved researching you, and I just kept saying, this guy is a stud. I love what you've done with turning your life around. So I'm going to ask you to tell us what comes to mind first, because we call this a lightning round. So I'll read the quote, and then you give us what comes to mind. Here we go. This is from Melody Carlson. It's a little bit long. She said, I've become convinced that God thoroughly enjoys fixing and saving things that are broken. That means no matter what, or no matter how hurt or how defeated you feel, no matter how badly you have been damaged, God can repair you. God can give anyone a second chance.
We gain wisdom. That's what it's all about. It reminds me of a poem called Footprints.
This is from Viktor Frankl. You mentioned something about this earlier, I think, but here's the quote. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
As we said, we choose our attitude. It can take many different forms, but it's a choice. So every day you wake up, if you struggle with attitude, start with gratitude, because that will put you in a positive place.
Yeah. This is from Carrie Jones. She said, the secret of happiness is freedom. The secret of freedom is courage.
Courage, finding courage is a struggle sometimes for people, but in my life, I would say it was the most liberating thing in the world. So be courageous, step out there, share your vulnerabilities. It will set you free.
Yeah, that's what you're describing there is really so tightly linked to being authentic.
Yep.
And why should we not just be authentic?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of authentic, this is from the great Jack London. He said, I would rather be a superb meteor, every atom of me in magnificent glow, than a sleepy and permanent planet.
Take action. Do for others. That's what life is all about.
Yeah. Very good. This is from Ray Wiley Hubbard. Do you know who he is?
No.
Ray Wiley Hubbard. Well, you're going to love this. You've been talking about it the whole show. He said, "And the days that I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, well, I have really good days."
100% agree. You know, people that just try to start their day with gratitude will find themselves in a better mood every single day. There's always a million things to be grateful for. I don't care how bad it gets. Think about it every day, and you will feel better about yourself and happier.
You know, I'll tell this story real quickly. When I was in my youth and I was trying out for different football leagues and this and that, and I went and I interviewed a coach that was coaching for St. Mary's football team. I had just graduated from Davis and I was going to my second or third round of trying to make the pros. And this guy had played for Houston. So I went and I talked to him. I was just looking to, oh, come on, coach, just tell me the magic. What's the magic formula? What can I do? How can I make it? And at the end, he said, "Look, Matt, just be who you are, be authentic. You've da-da-da." You know, he couldn't tell me anything, of course, but he gave me a quote. He wrote down a quote and he sent me away with it. And it said, "Your day belongs to another's dream." That's all about gratitude. The life that I'm living, the life that you're living, so many people in the world would saw their leg off for it, you know. Right. And we're whining because I'm in a van and my van's not working properly.
Right.
Well, big whoop.
Right.
Your day belongs to another's dream.
That's right.
Okay, this is our final. It's our show anchor. It's from Goth, and he said, "Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now."
Move forward. Go forward. Life is opportunity. Life is a gift. Take it. Run with it.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you for that, Terry. Those quotes aren't just reminders. They're reflections of the courage, clarity, and light that you bring to the world. And I had a blast putting them together for you.
It was fun. That was a blast.
And now, my friends, I have a heartfelt request for you. If Terry's story has stirred something in you, if it lifted your spirit, challenged your thinking, or reminded you of your own strength, then I invite you to share that energy with the incredible team at WITV7 who make this show possible. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage people in need. Every gift matters, big and small. With your support and their tireless work, lives are being transformed, and our circle of love keeps expanding. So donate today. It'll do good, and it'll make you feel good, too. Terry, I love the honesty and humanity that you bring to every part of your story, and I admire the courage, the resilience, and the generosity it takes to turn your greatest adversity into a source of strength for others. And I'm super happy that you've shared your courageous, authentic, and uplifting spirit on our show today. Will you please take a moment or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
Yeah, one thing I like to say is that to all of us, just be aware, be alert, be attentive, be open to what's happening around you, because people that you interact with, events that transpire will change you, will inspire you. And none of us knows where we're going to get the inspirations that we need to help us to get through a crisis. So be aware, be alert, be attentive, open yourself up.
Thank you, Terry. And friends, it's because of stories like Terry's and listeners like you that we've been named one of the top 100 life purpose podcasts worldwide, currently ranked at number 17. So thank you. Thank you for supporting our mission and for sharing these stories of inspiration and purpose. I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like Terry and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. And most especially, thank you, viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things Terry Healey. Find him, friend him, subscribe to his newsletter, check out his videos, and dive deeper into his message of resilience, courage, and authentic living. If his spirit moved you, buy his books too, and let his story strengthen your own. You'll find all his links in our show notes. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and click Unlock Here and start unlocking the life you were meant to live, one that's filled with purpose and joy and real significance. And as you begin unlocking, think what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gerster. You are awesome. And this is the Something Significant Show. And we're out.